We're taking those. That's right. There are 2 forms down below, and those of us who joined us live have been and will be submitting their channels for the duration of this about 2-hour live stream or video, depending on when you're watching it. If you're watching this after it was a live stream, by the way, thank you so much. Hope you managed to take some notes and learn a lot. We're going to be opening up people's videos, and after the click, right, the title, the thumbnail, it was good, people clicked on it, we want to figure out how can we get people to stay on that video. And we're also be answering some questions. It's going to be a jam-packed day for myself and also Viper. How's it going?
Yo, oh wow, who's that Viper dude? Wow, oh my goodness, what is all with his lighting? What is
Look at your lights today.
Yeah, what is happening? What did come from my light? Okay, we're gonna have to do something about that. But hello, people. Hi, how y'all doing? We're back. We're here. We're about to review some videos, some content, drop some golden nuggets, hopefully, and yeah, do all the things.
Yes. So the way this works, I don't have a fancy video made yet or anything, but the way this works is there are 2 forms linked down below in the description. One of them is for non-gaming channels. One of them is for gaming channels. And coming up here in a little bit, after we get through some pre-selected channels, we're going to do random selection. So you may have already been selected if you filled out the form in our pre-selection, but chances are you weren't. And so you could get selected in the random draw that's happening soon. But you got to fill out the correct form, and you got to do it here while we're live. So be sure to be filling those out. If you ask in chat, it doesn't work. We don't see it. So yeah, we actually went ahead and picked out the first channels that managed to submit on each form. The first one being Coolio Mo. And Coolio Mo, we actually saw yesterday during channel audits, but now we get to actually look at their content because I don't know how you did it, but somehow you were first on this form and then pre-selected yesterday. So awesome. They asked in this box here that I have, this new box where you guys can ask a question or tell us a little bit about your channel just for some context. They said, should call to action be in the beginning or the end of the video? So it's a good question. We'll take a look at your videos, see what you're doing now. And it depends on what you mean by a call to action, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So Viper, this channel was pretty cool. We saw them yesterday. Our advice yesterday was that the thumbnails, they've been kind of like stretched out. Maybe they could be improved a little bit. Maybe the fonts could be better. Let's just say that people, and they are, clicked into this video though. It has 1.6K views, this latest video here. Who are they going to be greeted by? Is this click going to pay off?
Because
How far are we into the video?
welcome everybody.
We are 25 seconds.
Okay.
So we just got the welcome in message. Pretty epic intro. I like the music. I thought there's a lot of really good shots used. Just, you know, overall, really, really cool looking stuff. What did you think?
Okay. So yeah, intro was epic, but it was too long. That is way too much time to be going between the beginning of the video and then when you first introduce yourself, because the thing that I need is I need to know what I can expect in the video. I need you to give some type of introduction. Hello. What is this video hoping to accomplish? What should a viewer expect to gain from the video? And 25 seconds of flashy B-roll car sounds, that, at least in my opinion, that's not doing it for me. I need a quicker, like, getting to the point of what's going on in this video. But that's what do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm not the target audience for this content for sure, but I will say that while I did think it was a cool looking intro, I also felt like, oh, when does the video start though? And I don't know how everyone's feeling. They have access to their analytics. We don't. So I would encourage Coolio Mo to look at the analytics and see, do you have that gradual drop off in the first like 30 seconds of the video? Because it's about 30 seconds and YouTube actually will highlight the first 30 seconds in the retention graph specifically because they know this is important. This is really an important moment because if they leave before this first 30-second mark, there's a really good chance they're not coming back. So you want to make sure that people don't drop off. That's the point of these live streams today. So you're about to say some stuff here. And what we would generally recommend if you have this really cool B-roll and you want to use it is to bring your voice under it earlier. But you still show all the same shots. It's just that this stuff is already kind of happening in the background. So you're kind of introducing people to the video. But instead of saying what it sounds like you're about to say is, welcome back, I'm so-and-so, I would be saying like, today we're going to check out a blah, blah, blah. What are we looking at here? Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9. It looks like there's a second person in the video, so you could talk about a little bit about who they are. You could really start doing your hook while all this epic footage is playing over it. But let's just kind of see the next few seconds, like what happens.
To another episode of Cool People, Cool Cars. So this gentleman and his ride right here is just a treat right now because I have been such a fan of Mitsubishis and just DSMs. But let me introduce my guest here with his beautiful Evo 9, Mr. Josh. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
And this is his Evo 9 MR. This thing is just incredible, man. I have to know, how much money are you into this car?
Next question. I bought this car.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's get to that question that was in your special new box there, because he put up some call to action right there about a few seconds before he got to the guy introducing him to the car. So the question is, where in the video should I put my call to action? And like Dan said, it really depends. But if it's like we just saw here, if your call to action is to subscribe to the video, I kind of feel like, actually, let me go back. When I was doing these in my video, I used to put it at the beginning of the video as well, because you don't know if everybody's going to make it to the end, right? You don't know if people are going to make it to the total length of your video. So obviously, it would be logical to put the call to action towards the beginning. However, the better execution for a call to action, especially subscribe, is to put it after you provide some type of value to the viewer. If there's something that your video is hoping to accomplish, or if there's like some main like highlight of the video, or maybe you just taught the viewer how to do something, or maybe you just made them laugh, or maybe there's some type of emotional connect or something along those lines, put your call to action right after that, because at that point you've delivered a reason for somebody to want to subscribe to your video. Putting the call to action before that kind of feels empty, and it still keeps the viewer, or leaves the viewer wondering, okay, why should I subscribe? You've done nothing yet. The video is like 30 seconds, 35 seconds in. Why should I subscribe? What are you doing for me that makes me want to come back? So those are my thoughts on where you should put your call to action.
Yeah, if the call to action is a subscribe call to action, definitely want to do it like after some value has been provided. Sometimes I try to look for like a good reason in the video. Like let's say there's a future video coming up where you're going to cover this other car, another Mitsubishi, for example. And you could say, by the way, next week I'm talking to another Mitsubishi Lancer owner, so you want to subscribe so you don't miss it. For me, I like to slip it in there like a ninja, just kind of like really quick call to action and then get out immediately. I don't like to linger on it. And I feel like I don't like doing it every video either. Because there's probably not a lot of ways or moments in which I can convince one viewer to click a thing. If I can convince one viewer to click a button and no more than one, which one in that video is the most important? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get them to like, subscribe, turn on the bell, look for my next video. Like there's a lot of different things, a lot of different calls to action you can put in a video. So I like to kind of mix it up. Sometimes it's a like, sometimes it's a subscribe, sometimes it's, share this video with somebody, leave a comment. I just don't know if unless they're your most loyal viewers, I don't know if you're going to get the vast majority of people to do even more than one of those things. Otherwise, we would see like numbers and view counts always really close together if most people were inclined to click those buttons, asked or not. So I don't like to, push too hard one way or another. I will say in every video, though, you have an opportunity to do another call to action that makes a little more sense, and that's your end screen. So if we jump to the end of the video, what we're encouraging creators to do, no matter what kind of channel you have, is to point to, literally physically point, if you want to, point to another video that that people should watch next. And you want to make it a video similar to the one they just watched in some way. So if they're watching a video about Mitsubishis, then I would say whatever video you did previously about Mitsubishis should be the one in that call to action. But if you're going to go straight to like Honda or something, you might have less of a click through, right? People might not, I'm only a Mitsubishi person. But if you cover, maybe you just cover a lot of different cars, but you cover them in different ways. Maybe it's a video about rims. Maybe it's a video about turbochargers, always think about why that viewer might have clicked, and think about if you have another video similar enough to get them to watch the next one. And the reason you do this is because of session watch time. And you do have an end screen here. Let's kind of listen to what's going on.
A YouTube channel, it's linked in my Instagram. Like it's probably gonna be here somewhere. It's not that great yet. I gotta put some more time into it. It's just a couple videos, like 2, but I'll be jumping back into that, so stay tuned for that.
So this is kind of cool actually, because your guest is plugging their channel in the end screen, and I think that's totally appropriate. I wish they were a little more confident. Didn't say it's not a great channel, but maybe you can go check it out. But this is probably in this case. Oh, this is Coolio Mo. I wonder, is this theirs? Oh, you should have plugged their channel in there, but because it looks like for a second it looks like that was a call to action for your guest's channel. Oh, you must have put it right here. Okay.
I'm confused because he's nothing about his YouTube link being in his Instagram. Like, huh?
Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I think that was
Like, what is that?
I think they
We're
said that
not
by
on
accident.
Instagram. We're on YouTube. I'm confused. Okay.
But let's just say in a general upload for this channel, what I would be doing is one thing on the screen. So I would get rid of this. I would get rid of the playlist, unless the playlist is like super relevant to like why you're doing that plug, and put one video that you think is the strongest, the one that's going to get people to click over. We've tried this. We've been doing it for a long time. And when we got rid of our end screen that we used to use with 4 different elements on it, and we pared it down to 1, we saw a huge dramatic increase in end screen click-through rate. And that meant we saw a huge dramatic increase in views on the channel. And what we did is created session watch time, which means, let's say somebody is at the beginning or the middle of a watch session on YouTube. And a watch session, all that is when you turn on the app and you click a video, that you've just begun a watch session. How long are you going to stay on the app until you turn it off and go and do something else that day? That's the length of your watch session. You want people in their watch sessions to watch you and nobody else. And in order to get them to do that, the best chance you have is to show them something on your channel that they haven't seen yet that is similar to what they just watched. So that's what you're trying to do and if you can make their sessions comprise mostly of your content, YouTube's going to be recommending your videos the next time they come on the app, because they're like, this guy loves Coolio Mo, and I'm going to make sure they see their next upload.
The other thing is that, as I talked to you guys about before here, if you have a series of videos and you want your viewer to be suggested, or the next video in that series to be automatically suggested to that viewer, put it in a playlist and then make sure the playlist is a series playlist, and then YouTube will automatically send them to the next video in that playlist. Even if it's not a series of videos, just make a playlist and make it a series playlist so you can just put your videos in there in order, and then whatever your next video is, YouTube will just automatically send them to that next video because it's in a playlist as well. So that's another way that you can use playlists to make sure that people watch more of your content.
Yeah. So we've definitely covered the call to action question. I think overall, if you can tighten up your intros, if your retention rate doesn't look great anyway, if you could tighten up your intros a bit, you'll probably see a higher retention rate. It seems like there's a lot here. It looks like you do a pretty in-depth overview of this car. You're going to show everything going on the outside. I'm assuming you're going to also look at some mods on the car. We get footage of you driving. So it's a very dynamic video. There's a lot going on. And I think overall, this is great. We saw this channel yesterday and thought it was so cool that someone with 200 subscribers was pulling in these types of views, especially in the last 2 videos. If you can get more uploads on your channel somehow, if there's a way for you to continue uploading more frequently, I think that's the only thing holding this channel back, really, is just the sheer amount of uploads they're doing. If they can just do more, if you can do 1 a month consistently and bump it up to maybe 2 a month. I know these probably take a long time to make, but oh my goodness, like it would be so cool to see that tick up for you.
And we are already off to a roaring start. Roar.
Yes. Yes, car puns. So we also picked the first gaming channel that managed to submit on our forum today. Let me just close out these other 2 tabs here, and we have Princess Bum Gaming. Right now, they're working towards their subscriber goal of 50 subscribers, and they've only uploaded a few videos so far. Well, sorry, when I scrolled earlier, it didn't keep going. I thought it was just a few. You've been uploading for a while, and your latest video here. I want to talk about the title. I know we're not doing channel outs today. I do want to talk about this, but let's just say like 10 people watch. Let's just say we clicked on this video. We saw it. It's definitely like a Roblox video. And does this click pay off? If I lose, I have to eat a peanut butter pickle.
Today I'm going to be playing Roblox Bed Wars, but if I die, I have to eat pickles with peanut butter. This is going to be insane. Let's do this. Here I am. I have arisen from the ashes, and now I'm getting 3 options. Okay, let's do second win, because why not? As you guys can obviously see, once this is off the screen, I'm a tree. You evil! Nope! And I fell.
So we're almost 30 seconds in. Got a gaming let's play.
How about your thoughts? Let me see if I can compartmentalize my thoughts here. Okay. about the title. If I lose, I have to eat a peanut butter pickle. When the video starts, I need to see that. I need to see some type of visualization of those states. I need to see the pickle with the peanut butter on it somewhere just to know that this is real, this is legit. And I know that you may or may not be a faceless channel. It doesn't really help that you have states and we can't even see your face in the first few seconds. It looks like it's at the end.
I guess they lost.
I guess they lost. But yeah, there should be like some type of tease of that at the beginning, then go into your gameplay or not. But I need the stakes to be real for me when I click on the video. Otherwise, I feel like I'm being clickbaited and I have to sit through the whole video, or somebody might just skip to the end and do it like that.
This is their B-roll right here, just them holding the pickle with peanut butter on it.
Yeah. See, maybe that should have been at the beginning, so we can have those states, so those things could be established for a viewer. Second thing, I told you gamers, listen to me, gaming creators, listen to me very closely. Nobody wants to see your menu screens in a video, okay? I done told y'all this before. Make sure you got that stuff done before you hit record. We do not want to see you shifting through menus. That is boring. Stop it. Go ahead, Dan.
Yes, there's a lot of like more egregious examples of this too. We've seen videos that just kind of sit on the menu screen. I used to do this too back when I started making gaming content. I thought it was fine if I had something to say, it didn't matter, it was on the screen. So I would just kind of talk and let the menu screen just sit there. And that's not what people wanted to see even back then. So if you can set up your game beforehand, if you need this icon here of second wind, maybe while the game is starting, you pop it up on the screen. Like, by the way, we're playing second wind, and that means you heal more or whatever it says. So aside from that, what I noticed in the beginning, I liked the intro overall. I would have liked to see the peanut butter pickle, and they have footage of it, so it would have been cool for you to have included some of that. But overall, I liked how fast it was. And you're trying to incorporate some stakes. It seems like you're getting a lot of different advice and you're trying to apply it to your channel, because I'm seeing you do a lot of things right that a lot of gaming channels kind of miss. You know, we give a lot of this advice. We're telling people to do this sort of thing all the time. And I feel like you either already knew this or you heard somebody out there speak about this and you listened. So I really like to see how your intro was done. It was good.
Hey, I'm going to be playing Roblox Bed Wars, but if I die, I have to eat pickles with peanut butter. This is going to be insane. Let's do this.
So yeah, like very quick intro, but B-roll. We want to see you playing Bed Wars. Take footage from the middle of your video and copy it over to the beginning, so we can just see a really big supercut of you swinging your sword and falling through the sky and all that stuff. And then I want to see the peanut butter pickle. You standing, kind of looking like shadowy and stuff. You're kind of hard to see. Like all that is kind of like, for the viewer, there's nothing happening still, even though you're talking. If you go and watch other gaming creators like Mr. Beast, for example, when they do gaming videos, the video in the first few seconds moves so fast. There's so much to see just in the first few seconds. And that's for a reason. That's just to make people really hyped up to, watch the rest of this 5-minute video. Where things fell apart for me was not the menu screens per se. I was like, for menu screens, this isn't the worst I've seen. It was after this.
Ashes, and now I'm getting 3 options. Okay, let's do second win, because why not?
So like, it seems like I would have just cut this completely from the video, right? Like, let's do second win because why not? So there's no real reason you chose this. So it's if you're saying why not anyway, cut it out. After this,
as you guys can obviously see, once this is off the screen.
As you guys can obviously see, once this is off the screen, cut that and then pick up here.
I'm a tree.
It would have been a lot funnier, I think, if you said, blah, 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 Bed Wars, peanut butter pickle, let's go. Transition. I'm a tree. Like, I think that would have been endearing. I think that would have been funny. So those moments where you're talking just for the sake of talking, this is for all Let's Players out there. Very specifically Let's Players, I guess, in this case. For those moments where you just left it in the video because you just wanted to keep talking, it's very clear to the viewer that you don't feel like you're prepared. You're something in this video just kind of feels like it was thrown together when you leave a lot of those moments in there of like, oh, this is on the screen, and you're reacting in real time to things that shouldn't be even in the video, in my opinion. So I would have cut all that out. And even if the video is not scripted, it can feel scripted when you start to tighten up all the audio like that. And you can leave some of that in there, a few of those like mistakes. Like if a menu screen pops up and you weren't expecting it or whatever. But it feels like just in the first 20 seconds, there's going to be a lot of that. It feels like there's going to be a lot of you reacting to things in a way that makes it feel like, in your edit, you just kind of left it in there because you didn't know what to do. I feel like there's a lack of preparation as the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Like right there, I played it in 2 seconds of silence because now they're concentrating. Now they're in the game and someone's about to kill them. So it kind of speaks to like, you're letting things happen, but you're not in control of the content. And this is very common with Let's Plays, but I think that the standards now have risen in this space. I don't think people necessarily want to watch unscripted Let's Plays to the point where there are moments like that where the creator is concentrating and they're forgetting that they're recording. They're forgetting that there's an audience member watching this video, and they're just kind of letting things happen, and that they're, again, in no control over the content. So I would say this is a more unique criticism than I've usually given Let's Play channels, but it's just what I'm trying to formulate this opinion very quickly, actually, because I'm writing my gaming 2023 video right now. But I want to get this point across to everybody that even if you don't script out your content, it shouldn't be noticeable to the audience. And that right now it's painfully noticeable. I don't know if you agree. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I babbling too much?
No, yeah. It's almost like a double-edged sword, though, because it's kind of frantic, right?
Yeah.
They're obviously, they may or may not be scripting. It seems like they're not scripting. They're just going off the cuff. They're reacting to what's happening as the game is playing, and there's some of that you want, because some of that makes the video more authentic. Yeah. But you don't want too much of it to the point where it seems like you're unorganized, and I think that's what Dan is trying to get to. It seems like in some ways that you're unorganized, and that can be off-putting to a viewer, because the viewer thinking, yo, you're supposed to be the professional. This is supposed to be a little bit more organized. It's supposed to be a little bit more coherent. And when it just feels like all over the place and it feels like you're not prepared and unorganized, it could turn the viewer off.
Yeah, like, sorry, 1 second. Carl Jake, with a K, sorry. So when Carl plays Minecraft, his reactions, like you could probably look at this video and feel like, oh, this video was, done in the moment. They didn't script the video. These are like genuine reactions.
Today, we're going to attempt to beat Minecraft, but everything is trying to kill us.
Everything?
And if we manage to beat it without dying, I'm gonna give each of you 100,000 Robux.
There's a pig with a sword chasing you.
Oh my god, the pigs have swords!
There's TNT chickens! Why is so much happening?
I'm going to the village.
So you see how the intro flowed into the video in a way that we didn't even realize it transitioned. It was just suddenly someone is being chased with a pig with a sword, and everyone's reacting. And it's not like these reactions are scripted, but it's organized. Like the edit itself took all the chaos that was going on in what I assume was probably a 2-hour recording session and cut it down into a 10-minute video where only the funniest reactions to things happening made it into the final cut. So it really is just a critique of editing your content. You can do things not scripted, but it doesn't, even though this is clearly not scripted, you don't notice how organized or disorganized this group of people was when they were recording this video.
Mm-hmm. It just seemed like natural. It seemed like a natural interaction, and that's what you want.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say before we move on is I'm not expecting anybody here to overnight get from the channel we were seeing
Today I'm going to be playing
to the level of Carl Jacobs in one day. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, though, is that channels like that are your competition still. They're raising the bar. They're setting the standard. And you can grow into it. You can get to that point, and in the meantime, you can get views. You can start to grow your channel. But you should always be working and climbing the ladder towards whoever it is that inspires you, who's in the upper echelon, because those are the people who are setting everything in motion for, like, they're creating more fans of this type of content. Like Carl playing Minecraft with his friends is going to make more people want to play Minecraft, not just on YouTube, but with their friends too. And so it creates these trends, and you kind of need to follow that. But there's so many Let's Play channels we see that, and I'm not including this one in this, that kind of start from zero. They just start by going, oh, today I'm going to play this game. And they don't they don't really put that extra effort in there. I think this channel's putting their extra effort in there. And now that I'm seeing that, I'm giving extra advice here because I think they can do even better.
Right, we just want to see y'all win. That's all it is.
I hope that made sense because I have a million thoughts going on in my head.
It made sense. You're good.
Okay, so that was our first gaming channel that's submitted, and now we have some pre-selected channels, channels that came in and we thought were kind of interesting and wanted to see ahead of time, before we get into random selections. So the first one we'll look at is Global Workings. They're approaching 200 subscribers. They've only uploaded 4 videos. And in their comment, they were just looking for some general tips on retention.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
Before we do that, let's address Joe.
Oh, yes.
And the $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, "Hey, I make Minecraft LPs and I'm happy doing them, at least for now. Will treating episodes as tutorials, i.e. building, be a good way to drive views? What's your top 3 tips for LP channels?" Dan, I'm helping you out. What's an LP channel?
So an LP channel means Let's Play, which is, I'm glad you brought this up right as we were talking about this. Thank you for bringing that up. Those were super chats, by the way. Thank you so much for your super chats. They do not buy you a review, but we do, if we get them, we try to answer questions if we have time. And so, my top 3, where did the question go? I need to see.
Yeah, there you go.
Top 3 tips for Let's Play channels. Now, first you asked, would treating episodes as tutorials like building be good to drive views? You may be referring to one channel we talk about all the time, which is Farzy, who does exactly that. He does a lot of Minecraft builds and also tutorials at the same time. So he'll build something epic and then also frame it as like a tutorial on like a cow farm or something like that. So not only is this building epic looking, but it helps you do something. I think that is one strategy. Do you need to mimic that strategy? Not necessarily. The point of showing his channel constantly all the freaking time is that he's so good at building and he's so good at framing these videos. Like he's kind of putting every possible strategy into one video. You know what I mean? The video is searchable. The video is interesting, just that it could show up in browse as well. The video features strategy in the form of something that you can like build and make for your own game that's going to farm you a bunch of materials, and it features creativity in the fact that it's highly like professional looking builds. But again, that's a lot of work. You don't necessarily have to be Farzy. You don't necessarily have to be Carl Jacobs. It's finding what you're best at in the game that you're playing, be it Minecraft or whatever it is. And even if outside gaming, what is it that you are exceptionally good at? Maybe it's a music channel and you play a lot of instruments, but there's one in particular you're good at, but you want to have like an all-encompassing music channel because you said you're going to do a music channel. Maybe it should just be about pianos if that's what you're good at, and maybe there's a certain type of song you're really good at playing on pianos, but you're practicing other ones. So you want to take your audience on that journey. No, start with the stuff you're really, really good at. Start with the stuff that you know the most about. So in the case of Minecraft, what's your favorite thing to do in Minecraft? And what do you feel like you could speak to the most? What generates the most excitement and video ideas in your head? Those are more my tips. I don't know if there were 3 in there, but it's not to, just copy someone else because Dan said, oh, Farzi's good, so I got to make videos like Farzy. You got to reach a little bit beyond that. Like put you in your channel. Like what is it that you are specifically wanting to share in Minecraft? Like what do you feel like you could bring a lot to the table with? And that could be anything. Maybe it's just writing funny skits. Doing role play in Minecraft community is really big. Maybe you're really good at PvP and you have some tips and tricks on how to get better at it. But figure out what you're good at and then do the audience research to determine, okay, this is what I'm good at. Are people looking for it? And if not, is there anything similar? So there's a lot of research that goes into it as well.
All right, I'm gonna handle this one more this last super chat and we're gonna keep moving. Shout out to the Nerd Agenda, $5 Canadian. I appreciate you. How long after upload do you try changing the thumb on an underperforming video? I know some videos take time to spread, but when do you try changing it? You should change it as soon as possible within the first hour, because even changing it within the first hour can drastically change the trajectory of your video. But in order to do that, you have to have a baseline of how your videos normally do. So I would say if you don't have that baseline, go back to your last 10 videos. If you have 10 videos, go back to your last 10 videos and take the averages of the CTR or the average view duration, all that information, and then find yourself a baseline. And then on your next video, you can use that baseline to see how good a video normally does in the first hour or whatever. And if it's not doing well out the gate, go change that title, go change that thumbnail, because you change title as well. Maybe you change the thumbnail, that's not doing anything, then change the title. If you change the title and the thumbnail and the video is still not doing things, it might be the actual video itself, which is why we're here today. But in the first hour, within the first hour, that is a good barometer, because if you change it after the first hour, it's already left the yard. You're not going to be able to see many changes if you wait to the after the hour. So change it within the first hour and see what happens. Thank you for that question.
There is one example of this. We had a video underperform on Monday, and this is one of Rob's, and he has all the thumbnail assets, so that made it difficult for me to try and change the thumbnail. And not only that, I could have done that, but not only that, I had a million things going on that on Monday, so I was not able to update the thumbnail. We did update the title, and it didn't seem to change much, which tells us it probably was the thumbnail. I will say, if you missed that first hour mark like I did here, not all hope is lost, because you can also do this later on, and it might not work. It might work, but we've been trying this in the background. We're calling it reoptimization, right? It's literally what it is called, but we're calling it like our reoptimization effort across the channel. There are videos like this one that are going to underperform, and we will go back and update those thumbnails and update those titles. And sometimes you'll be surprised, whoosh, they start picking up again, which is bonkers. It's really, really awesome to see. So it can happen. I'll try to find an example of one here, because we did have one very recently, but I don't want to spend the whole stream trying to dig it out. But yeah, there are times where sometimes you change it. Oh, you know what? I found it. It's called YouTube Shorts Secrets. Blah, 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 blah. Let me show you this real quick. YouTube Shorts Secrets. I don't know why it started playing in the background. So this was one of the videos we re-optimized. And if you look in the last week, it saw a bump, not a huge bump, but for what it was doing, 38, 45, 33, 269. So it is possible for little things like this to tell YouTube, hey, YouTube, this video, remember this crap video we made? It's actually not bad. Suddenly a bunch of people are interested. And so now we expect to see this start to really trend up slowly over time. We missed it in the first hour mark, but we got to it later. That's another thing you can do. It's not guaranteed. If you want a little bit better chances and you've been cultivating a strong community tab, sometimes you can do a poll or something, and then you can like slap the link in the like at the end of that poll question, and sometimes people will click, and that can also re-energize it. But make sure you update the title and thumbnail on low performers.
All right, on to the next video.
All right, so thank you for your questions. We'll get to more of those in a bit. Where were we? So global workings.
Yep.
Global workings. Thank you for submitting. Let's check out your latest video, which is called "Who Really Leads the European Union?"
The European Union, an economic powerhouse and a repository for some of the world's foremost powers on the global stage. While itself, it's a great leader. After all, it is just a union of countries banded together for economic and political purposes, though there has to be a power that leads it, besides leaders of the union as a whole, because if a country decides to leave it again, as the UK did by voting in 2016, the European Union government officials have no authority over them. The presidency of the EU doesn't matter too much, because it's kind of like a federal government over a bunch of provinces or states, but
that's 30 seconds.
I got no problem with it. I have zero issue with this intro. The man literally starts talking, and as soon as he clicks on, we click on the video, he's gone. Like, pew! It's almost like a track meet. I used to be a track athlete, so I know about this stuff. It's almost like a track meet. As soon as the gun goes off, pew! You out of the block. That man left the yard as soon as they hit play. Bam! Video starts, and he's using B-roll. He's talking about the history of the EU, how if somebody leaves the EU, they don't worry, they don't matter no more because that country is not a part. This is how you do an intro, you all. Get into it as soon as possible. Deliver. We call it deliver on the click. You want to deliver on the click ASAP, and this person does that. A+. I got nothing to say. I'm good.
Yeah, I concur. There's nothing like the question they asked in the forum was very similar to what we're already doing. Like, how can I increase my retention or whatever? It's really hard to answer because you're already doing something right here. Look at this. 532 views from 2 days ago with less than 200 subscribers. All good signs. These are all signs that you are already doing a fantastic job. There's always room for improvement. Always. One critique, and this is a personal thing, you might not agree. A lot of people might not agree. It felt like they talked a little bit fast. I didn't double speed the video, and I was having trouble like trying to just keep my brain up with everything they were saying. But I don't want you to overcorrect. I don't want to say that and then ruin your videos by you going, "Oh, okay, I'll slow down," and then they're suddenly like 10 minutes long instead of 5. I think taking a breath every now and again isn't a bad deal. That's I guess all I'm saying. But it's not that's not a criticism whereby I think you have failed your channel or anything like that. It's such a small criticism, such a small critique that if you wanted to ignore it, you'd probably still do just fine. It's just something I personally noticed.
Okay, something I will critique though, and it's not video related, it's related to the thumbnail, and I'm not gonna get on it too much because we're not doing that today. But be careful what color you have the text at, because in this thumbnail, I can't read that because there's no contrast.
Yeah.
You got a light color background with light color text, and it's almost unreadable. So just be careful about how you color your text against your background, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah. I wonder if this video would have even more views if the thumbnail was just a bit better. I think the European Union flag was not a bad choice, but the building behind it was. And you tried to kind of give it some separation with that blue gradient on it, or the blue glow, but that's not quite doing it for me. I think it's still blending too much into the very blue background that you have. So I would fix that. And then the way you're using text, you need to use bolder text. It needs to be bigger, and it needs to be up in a spot where people can see it. We got the timestamp blocking it just a little bit, and you've all this negative space in the top right corner. So not who you think would be a great, interesting bit of text, but larger, like maybe 2 lines instead of 1, and then in the corner. That would have been way better, and you could have even like tilted it a little bit in a fun way. So I think, yeah, thumbnail wise, that may be what is holding you back. It's definitely not the quality of your content. For 4 videos, this is an incredibly high standard.
Yes. Well done. Good job. Keep up the good work. You are on your way.
Yep. Next up, we have collectible investing. They would love to hear our thoughts on their niche and their video style. They use an avatar. I looked at their videos. They kind of mean like a VTuber in my videos because they're shy. It's unique to my niche. So this is a good idea. So we can definitely talk about that. I did watch a little bit of this first video here. So I'll show you Viper and get your thoughts.
Okay.
With an average 11% annual yield, some say collectible Lego sets are a better investment than stocks, gold, and even art. First released in 1949, Lego has gone on to become not only an iconic toy, but also part of our pop culture.
Time out. Go back. Can we restart the video? Because now I don't know if it's like frames are clipping or frames are dropping, or it's not playing smoothly on where I'm looking at it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I wonder if that's. Let me reshare the screen real quick, because sometimes we get glitches like that.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said FPS drop. Yeah, it's nothing that's not right with that. I mean, it didn't even start until like 5 seconds after you started talking. So I'm just curious what's going on.
All right, we'll try it again. Hopefully it's okay. It wasn't doing that for me, so that's always the concern. Sometimes it's out of our control. Let's see.
With an average 11% annual yield, some say collectible Lego sets are a better investment than stocks, gold, and even art. First released in 1949, Lego has gone on to become not only an iconic toy, but also part of our pop culture. Loved by millions of people around the world, these colorful plastic building blocks and small human and animal-like figures are not just fun and entertaining for kids.
All right. Let me preface about that. I don't have any issue with VTubers. I know there's a lot of you all that don't want your face on camera, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to go that route, you got to have some pizzazz. You got to have some personality to your presentation. And this creator, I don't know how long they've been doing this, 17 subscribers, so I'm guessing not too long, but I'm not getting that energy. I'm not getting that personality come through the camera. So I'm gonna need you to work on some charisma, some personality to make this video pop more, to just general excitement is lacking from this presentation. Not to mention the fact that there's too many static images in the intro. When you start off the video with the VTuber, it's in there for like what, 5-10 seconds, and there's nothing else happening except the VTuber on screen. That gets boring real quick for a viewer. And then you switch to the Lego computer TV, I should say, and it's sitting on there for like another 10-15 seconds. You got to figure out how to change these cuts quicker, because if it gets too stale like this, you might potentially lose a viewer. So between quicker cuts and infusing some personality into your content, I think just those 2 things will make a world of difference for you as a creator.
Yeah, he definitely took all the ones I was going to say for sure.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
No, you're fine. It rings true, because I watched this and I was kind of waiting for the moment where they were going to switch to other B-roll, and I think You could probably switch a lot faster than this even,
to
but
become
here's
not
here's
only
where
an
I would do
iconic
it.
toy, but also part of our pop culture. Loved by millions of
Loved by millions of people would be good. Just a different scene. Like get rid of the TV. Like I want to see millions of people and or them playing with Legos if possible. This could be done by just making sure you sign up for like a good stock video, stock image website. There's a lot out there. They license content for YouTube. The licenses are very generous and they're not super expensive. You may already be using that because we've seen some stuff like maybe this TV is one of those stock, pieces. But I love the old timey TV with the old commercial in it. I just think you used it for way too long.
Way too long. Yep.
And then another point you say these colorful blocks.
people around the world. These colorful
blocks, but we're still looking at a black and white TV. So again, keep supporting what you're saying by continuing to change that B-roll. These colorful blocks. I want to see a camera panning over some Legos spilled on the ground. Like something really simple like that. And this could be stuff that you make yourself, or this could be, again, probably stock footage that you find. But either way, Viper saying here is exactly what I was going to say as well. We definitely need this to be a little more, interesting. I also don't have any issue with the VTuber. You did say it was unique in your space, so is it a good idea? I don't think it's a bad idea. I think what I wasn't expecting was to see the VTuber when I was expecting to see Legos. And I think you can use the VTuber. I just think it should have popped up later in the video. That's all. I don't know if it should have been the first thing everybody saw. That's it. Like I really don't think though, like this is becoming a very common trend just everywhere. And I don't think you have to worry at all about using them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a doable. I think, like I said, the bigger issue for you is just add more cuts to the B-roll so you could pick up the pace on the video, but the VTuber thing is fine.
Yeah. I think the first thing we should have
with an average
seen
11% annual yield.
a graph going up with a little Lego block on it.
Some say collectible Lego sets are a better investment.
Collectible Lego sets. Show me some, pictures from inside like a Lego store or something. So that's what we're talking about here. Just stuff that makes that click pay off, because you're selling a pretty big video here to the top 5 most expensive Star Wars Lego sets, and pretty good thumbnail. Maybe too much text, but overall, nothing inherently wrong here. So you're promising this, but you're going into like. You're going into like nothing that has to do with Star Wars. I guess maybe that's where the space background comes in, but it's not, the click isn't paying off. I clicked on it and I'm worried I'm in the wrong place in the first few seconds, and we don't want that because people will click away.
Yep.
But yeah, excellent work. It does look like it's not like you don't edit the videos. As I scrub through, I can see plenty going on. It's just we want to see even more. All right. Cool. I guess plenty was the wrong word to use if we want to see even more, but you know what I mean. Real quick, I just want to mention you still have a little bit more time to take advantage of our Cyber Monday sale. You get 50% off of Boost for 6 months if you use the code CyberWeek. The link is in the description below. You have just a little bit of time left to take advantage of this if you want to get all of our tools, our full suite of tools, and try them out at a pretty steep discount.
For real. Y'all should take advantage of that. It's legit.
I'm just cleaning up my tabs here as we go. The next one we have, this is a fishing channel. It's pretty interesting. They said they believe that their main audience, I'm guessing by looking at their analytics, is in the over 30 category, but they're 15. What can they do to reach audiences still over 30, but also appeal to more younger viewers?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was a pretty interesting question. And where did it go? Here it is. I just mixed these up. So we'll put that there. That is going to be Fishing with Jay. Approaching 500 subscribers, and the reason I picked it is because I was seeing like the massive amount of views they're getting, probably from these amazing thumbnails.
Yeah, some thumbnails are awesome.
And so I had some ideas, but I wanted to, we'll still do the video review and see what's going on.
Are you looking for the best gift ideas for the angler in your life? Look no further, because here I am today talking about some of the best gifts for your budget. Make sure you watch till the end to see me unwrap this gift, which will inspire you when you're buying your gifts. I have actually no clue what's inside of here. Everything in the video today will be linked in the description, so make sure to go click on them links and buy from there. If your budget is below £15 or you're looking for a few stocking fillers,
I need your help with something, because I've seen this a lot. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on this. So he has the word popping up on screen for every single word that he says. And in my opinion, I think that's a little too much because it feels like I'm working to read and not just enjoy the video. I don't have a problem with you putting text on screen as you're talking, but I will limit it to just the highlights of what you're trying to say to add that extra emphasis on the point that you're trying to make, and not have it become a reading exercise. But Dan, what were your thoughts about this?
I think it's trending more because a lot of big creators are doing it for at least for their intros. You can tell it stopped eventually, and it's also, I think, because of shorts and TikTok, like putting captions throughout the whole video is something people are getting used to. So I watch videos sometimes where it's literally in the whole thing, and it's baked into the video, so you can't really turn them off. But I don't think that's for most viewers. I just don't think people mind too much. And when I've done stuff like this in the past, I've actually gotten compliments. I've gotten people saying like, thank you for using captions in this video. I've actually learned that I have people who are like close to me, that are hearing impaired, and I never knew. I just happened to use captions for that video, and I was getting thanked. So I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily harmful. I do think the captions work just fine. I think for me, what I was hung up on was the energy level in this video. I don't think it's bad. I think they're doing a pretty good job. Like, you can tell they're kind of playing around with lighting. They're working on it. This is something they're working on. The audio was good. I think a little more excitement. Like, you're going to unwrap this gift, and I think you could have done a little bit more to just amp that up a little bit. That's what was getting me. And I kind of wonder, I don't want to speak for you or anything. Do you feel like maybe though that might be why like the text was something you were focused on, because there wasn't enough going on in the actual like video?
Oh, you mean calm down. Kind of maybe, but I don't know. Again, this is something that I'm seeing a lot of as well with creators using more text. Again, I don't mind you using text on the screen. It's just that I kind of relate it to when I'm trying to watch a movie that's not in English, so I have to watch the subtitle, because the movie in French or Japanese or something, and I watch the subtitle. That just adds extra work that I don't want to do, but I'm obviously going to do it because I want to watch that particular movie. But when we're talking about YouTube and a YouTube video, I don't want to do extra work watching a YouTube video. Yeah. I mean, and the other thing that kind of gets me is that there's an actual caption option. So if I want to turn it on and watch the captions as you go, I can hit the button. I don't need you as a creator to have them burned in for every word that you say. Again, I don't have a problem with you having text on the screen to highlight particular points, but every single word that comes out of your mouth as text on the screen, I think just a little much. And again, it's my opinion, but I think it's just a little much. But yeah, Dan, there could be something to your point about the lack of energy in the video that makes me focus more on that text. But I want to get to the question that he asked, and I'm gonna call it the Dan box. Since Dan invented it, we're gonna call it the Dan box. I want to get to the question that we're calling it the Dan box. Okay. I want to talk about the question that he addressed in the Dan box, and that was about reaching an audience, a younger demographic. This content about fishing, I can't imagine too many young people that get excited about fishing. So you're already playing at a disadvantage because it's a category that doesn't appeal to younger people. But if you want to try to draw in that younger crowd, then the thing that you will have to do is figure out how to bring in subject matters or popular trends that young people are gravitating towards, and somehow finding a way to integrate that into your content. And we talk about this all the time with people that do like major, like small or sub niche topics, and they want to expand their audience. And it's all about making those sub topics more appealing by using topics that are trending or things like that, and finding a way to integrate those into what you're doing. So I feel like this creator will have to do the same thing. Like, if there's like a cartoon that has a fish or it's about fishing or fishing related, maybe you can use that cartoon or integrate some of that cartoon or some aspects of it into your fishing content to make it appeal to younger people. It's just finding that common thread that younger people are gravitating toward, and finding a way to integrate it with your content to make it more appealing to a younger audience, because by its very nature, it's just not.
Yeah. I agree. And some of my ideas there as well for, how they could appeal to younger audiences. I was thinking every so often, and maybe not for every upload or anything, because you still want to maintain the audience you have, you do some videos about like young people and their first time fishing. Like you're gonna point to products that are maybe specific for kids, because they make fishing rods that are like smaller, right? So children's size things. So you could review some of those products, and you might be surprised, even the people who are, as your demographics are showing, in their 30s watching this content may have small children that they would like to get into fishing. So you might find that it's helpful to them too. And maybe that's why they're watching. Maybe you're using products that appeal to a younger demographic, and they're shopping for their families. and they have younger people in their families. So who knows? It's really hard unless you just look at your comments and you just take the few people commenting at their word. It's really hard to know what your whole audience is, thinking. But yeah, I would say that's one way you could try and get some younger viewers in the mix. I would model that after big successful fishing channels that are also doing it. Don't just take my word for it and make a video like without doing the research. Do the research and see, is there a precedent for that? Are there people reviewing fishing products and having success, and one's tailored more towards a younger audience? But yeah, that would be one strategy, but I wouldn't worry too much. You're getting mind-boggling views here, especially on these three.
So I just want to address I'll go ahead, Dan, my bad. I mean, interrupt you.
This was a great time to release the Christmas video. Like, we're in holiday shopping season right now. This is exactly when you want to be putting out these types of videos. You did 5 days ago. You already have 3,000 views. It's going to keep cruising along. We can already see it's getting views per hour right now. Like, yeah, we're doing good.
Absolutely. So I just want to address this comment in the chat real quick. And by Write Your Family History, why would you want a younger audience when the older ones have the money for fishing? This creator is 15 years old. I don't think they're worrying about building the channel as a business just yet. It looks like I'm going to get that they're doing it more as a hobby or just sharing their passion with the world. I don't think they're doing it to make money. So I don't think that's going to apply to this particular creator, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, 30-year-olds have wallets. So that's something to keep in mind. But kids have loud voices. So when they want something, they use those. And also something to keep in mind. But yeah, either way, I think you can definitely show off products that are tailored towards a young fishing enthusiast, and parents will appreciate that because this is coming from someone of a similar age group who's using those products and they're giving an honest review. So that was just my idea. I don't know. It's pretty. This is a very interesting channel to me. They haven't uploaded a lot of videos, and yet in 1 month, like, this is just a crazy amount of success.
And here's the thing, Dan. Look. Let's look at it for a minute. And I don't want to harp on it too long because this is not an audit. But it's not just the thumbnail. Look at the title. They're short and to the point. And this is what we try to tell you guys about not making your titles too long because YouTube truncates them. This creator is keeping it short, sweet, to the point. Fishing the secret lake. That's very intriguing, and it's short. The best bait for corp fishing. Like what? What is that? 6 words? Is it? So he's finding a way to make his title short, to think and to the point, while creating these awesome thumbnails. So I mean, that's half the battle. That packaging, we talk about it all the time. Packaging is key. It doesn't matter how good your video is. If you don't have the correct packaging or good packaging, no one's going to watch. So this packaging is amazing.
Yeah. No more of this nonsense of the YouTube algorithm doesn't notice you unless you're X size already. That doesn't make any sense. You can start a channel and in a month find yourself close to 500 subscribers and already getting thousands of views.
Boom.
Happens all the time. All right, we have a guitar reviewing channel here, and they asked, what is the best way to make viewers come back to your channel and potentially subscribe to a new channel? So I thought this was kind of an interesting one. So they want their viewers to come back, and if they start a second channel, they want them to also jump over to there.
Okay, let me just attack this right now because Dan feels differently. He can say what his opinion is, but focus on one channel at a time. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Why are you trying to worry about people subscribing to a second channel, a new channel? Unless you've been doing it for a long time and you're just ready to transition to a new channel. If you're a newer creator, you shouldn't even be thinking about this. Just grow to one channel. And then when you get to a level that is grown, then worry about a second channel. But right now, focus on one channel.
Yeah. Focusing on one channel is going to really help you just grow that channel, right? But here's the thing. If you're making a second channel, but you want the same viewers, why are you making the second channel? You should absolutely not ask viewers from channel A to come to channel B, because the whole reason you make a second channel is so viewers on channel A don't have to get content they're not interested in seeing in their sub boxes and in their recommendations. So you're kind of going to blow up your second channel in a bad way. It's going to get the wrong viewers watching it if you tell everyone to go over there and subscribe, because you made the second channel acknowledging that, oh, my current viewers probably won't be interested in this. And then you tried to build it up anyway with those same exact viewers. So now YouTube is confused. These people who normally watch content like the content on channel A are watching completely different content, clicking off very fast. And YouTube's like, who's this for? So
Yep.
You're slowing yourself down. I don't think it's detrimental. I don't think you'll never grow. I just think you're slowing yourself down by doing that. It's kind of tying an anchor around this channel for no reason. So yeah, second channel, fine. Don't ask your viewers to come over to it. That's the wrong move. In any case, they only have, again, about a month's worth of content here, getting some successes, especially this video right here. Let's check out their latest one and see what we can see.
Fuzz, distortion, and overdrive. A lot of people get them confused with each other, but in this video I'll show you what the differences is and give you a sound example so you can hear the differences as well. The main difference between fuzz, overdrive, and distortion is how hard the signal is clipping. But in order to find out which pedal you should get, you might want to hear a sound demo so you can get a clear picture in your head on what pedals to get and what to use them for, since they are used for different kind of things. So let's get right into the testing.
Okay, right. I have a special request there. I need to see another video from the creator before I can comment.
All right.
When it comes to sounding like Jimi Hendrix, it can get expensive. But even if you have the money, you might not even sound like him at all, since Jimi was unique and so is Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eddie Van Halen. But how do you get the Jimi Hendrix sound? Well, let's find out.
Okay, I think I know what the problem is.
All right.
I don't know. Dan will probably know better than I do, but the audio is not in sync with the video. Clearly, your lips are moving and nothing, and no sound is happening, or sound is moving faster than your lips are moving. Your audio is out of sync. And
let me look at it. Hold on.
When it comes to sounding like Jimi Hendrix, it can get expensive.
You better in the first video we watched.
If you have the money,
Oh, you're right. No, I see it now. I just want to make sure it wasn't like the delay StreamYard was causing.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you to watch the second video, just to make sure that was the thing. But yeah, that out of sync, it's bothering me, and where I'm just the one here critiquing your video. So if it's bothering me, it's gonna bother a potential viewer because it's just off, and it just makes the viewer just feel weird. So you need to find a way to sync up your audio and your video, because right now it's out of sync.
Yeah, I would definitely look into the sync issue for sure. I was gonna say, audio wise, I like the audio in the video in general. It sounds good. I think it's of a high standard. And for a music channel, you would expect that, and of course, like later in the video, you get a guitar out and you actually start playing it. I felt like the balance was a little off, but compared to your voice and the guitar, like I would have brought down the guitar just a little bit more, just because it felt loud. Like my volume was set here and suddenly it felt like it went up, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're playing a guitar now. So when you're editing, just make sure that those levels are good. I think what's distracting me, and we would normally tell everybody audio is 50% of video, get your audio right. But this creator did that. So the next thing to work on is the video quality. And it's not so much the fact that you may be using like a cell phone to record, it's the lighting.
Yes.
The lighting is very distracting. It's time to get a second, maybe even a third light. Because what you're doing is you have one light that's on, and it's creating this very dramatic shadow because you're very close to a wall. So it's creating this really dramatic shadow, and the room is otherwise dark. So it looks very strange, and it's distracting me quite a bit. So I think a second light to help soften that shadow a bit would help, and maybe even a key light, something for your hair in the back, just to kind of help you separate from the background a little bit. We have Ben Johnson on quite a bit, and he talks about this stuff all the time. If you go to a previous live stream, I think for just a few weeks ago on a video review live stream, Ben came on and talked about lighting quite a bit. So yeah, it's something that definitely that's the next point of improvement for you. But I think other than that, these aren't very long videos, and they are doing a lot in their edit. They're using a lot of B-roll. They're even in this video, we saw some different effects with text and this money that we've stopped on right now with cha-ching and money flying around. All this stuff is fun and engaging, and I think people enjoy stuff like that. You're doing a lot of that work, but the actual physical production quality does need some more improvements. So I would continue just taking those steps to make those incremental improvements. Don't worry about, I'm not going to upload anymore because they told me my video quality doesn't look good. That's not what we're saying. Keep uploading, but whatever you have at your disposal, try and keep using it to just build up that quality so that eventually you just get to that really nice high standard that you're, hopefully imagining for your content.
Yeah. Yeah, the other than that, the audio and the lighting, the video and the video production are pretty good. You just got to get a couple those things that Dan alluded to, get those together, and it'd be good.
Yeah. Do we answer the question here? Best way to make viewers come back? We talked about it at the beginning of the stream today. It's going to be one strategy of many is session watch time. And you're already doing a really good job of making the same type of video for the same type of viewer, right? Like you're talking about different products and different artists. Like that's already the kind of thing you want to be doing, right? You're niche down. And that means when someone watches one of your videos and they like it, there's a good chance they'll watch the next one because you're still talking about the same topics that they remember you for. So you're already doing that. You can use your end screen to try and push people to the next similar video, and that will create session watch time. That'll mean that people are going to have a better chance of getting recommended to your channel when they happen upon YouTube again. So those things are how you get viewers to come back, but it's also just a matter of uploading. Yeah. And you've only just started a month ago, so I think this is probably a good amount of content for a month. Yeah, so just keep going. That's how you build up your audience.
Absolutely. And while Dan goes to the next video, I'm going to address some of the super chats here. We got Stevie Loves Horror for $9.99. I appreciate you, Stevie. Thank you for that. I made the decision to have only one channel for now dedicated to movie reviews. I just started a month ago. How do you gain confidence on camera to make my video more engaging? Practice. I think I just talked about this on a podcast recently, but practice. You just got to keep doing it. Practice in front of a mirror. Practice in front of your friends. Practice out in public. Wherever you can practice, just keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. Again, I've been doing it for 5 years now, okay? I was never on camera in a public way before 2018 when I uploaded my first YouTube video. When I first started out, I could not stand the sound of my own voice being recorded. It just sounded silly to me. But now I don't even think about it anymore because I've done it so much that it just becomes second nature because I've done it over and over and over again. And I think that could be true of most things in life. The more repetition you get, the more times you do it, at some point you just forget about it and you just become programmed to do it. So just keep getting on camera, keep practicing, and eventually it'll come to you.
Yeah, that's everyone. I had the same questions too when I was starting out, and that's the advice I got. And I got frustrated because I'm like, I just feel like there's something else that I could be doing to make sure if I'm practicing, like I'm having the best chance to get that confidence even faster. But the key for me was just making a lot more videos. Yep. And even if I didn't upload them, just the fact that I sat down to record and I practiced, even if it didn't go anywhere, and it helps.
Goof Plays, I think there's 1.79 pounds, I think. I have 1.2K 6 up, but I'm struggling with 4K watch hours, I'm guessing that you're talking about. Look into live streaming. I told you all, live streaming is kind of a hack when you're trying to get those watch hours. I don't know if you're a short channel, then obviously you gotta make a ton more shorts, or figure out a way to get those 10 million views in 90 days. But if you're not just a short channel and you are entertaining long form and live streaming is a hack to increase your watch hours fast. So if that's what you want to do, consider live streaming. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to take one more before we move to the next video. Monster Shop for $5. Thank you for that. I'm an artist new to YouTube. My channel is growing fast, close to 60K, but not 4K hours to get paid. 108K hours in short. How to increase video views. I mean, well, it seems like your short views are probably doing, if you got 60K subscribers, you are getting views. It's just that you're making short form content, and obviously right now that doesn't count for watch hours. But they are counting towards those 10 million views in 90 days. But I'm gonna tell you what I just told the last person. Diversify your content. You got long form content. You got live streaming. Again, if you guys are having issues with the watch time, with the watch hours, live streaming is going to be a great benefit to you. If you're not comfortable with that, then you just have to make more content. But if you are comfortable or at least open to the idea of live streaming, I would say consider doing that. What you guys have to understand is that even though you might be comfortable with one type of content, like maybe you're only comfortable doing shorts, or maybe you're only comfortable doing long form, YouTube is literally transforming the platform into a multi-format home. They want us experimenting with all types of content, short form, long form, live stream. So your best chance to win on YouTube is to experiment with all of them. You just can't lock yourself into one content format anymore if you want to grow on this platform, because the platform is recognizing all of the content types. So just be aware.
Yeah, I want to jump on that real quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I was just thinking about, like, as an art channel, live streaming is an opportunity, especially if you record your videos in such a way, your shorts, whereby you're doing like speed painting, for example. So it's literally you painted in real time, and in post you sped it up, and then you made like a 30-second short out of it. If you're doing that anyway, what if you live streamed? And what if you had a microphone? And what if you just kind of talked through what you were doing? And the people who have been watching your shorts got a notification and they came over. The reason I bring it up, and I just support Viper's idea of like live streaming and diversifying your content. You said your shorts channel, it makes it sound like you don't want to do that, and I understand. But with the requirements that YouTube's put in place for monetization for shorts, your best chance at being monetized is unfortunately going to be that long form content or the live streams. It just is. You'll get the subscribers done already with your shorts. You'll get watch hours that don't count. So you have to sit down and do something about that. And I don't know what that is. Do you have to do it forever? No. Once you're monetized, you're monetized. So you can just retire that type of content after that point and just do your shorts that you want to do. That's totally fine. I'm glad that YouTube made a way for shorts creators to work towards monetization, but they made the hurdle so high that it almost forced them. It forced their hand. They had to make long form content. And it seems like it's by design. When you really think about it, I think YouTube just wants people to do both for the health of their overall channels. And it does open up a lot of opportunities. So even if you're going to do it temporarily, I would figure out a strategy there.
Slavgar, no, man, people got to be watching for you to get watch hours, because the watch hours come from those people that are watching, not just from you live streaming. So yeah, if you're going to live stream, you want to make sure you got people watching.
Yeah, definitely, like thumbnails, titles, all that stuff still matters. You know, you still got to get a clickable live stream going.
Back to you, Dan.
Well, we have another channel here before we get into random selections, which is happening imminently. So get your foam claw hands ready, waving in the air. Struggling with retention, it drops to 30%, sometimes lower, within the first 30 to 45 seconds. That does sound dramatic. It stays flat until the end. So people are looking at the beginning of your video and going, nope, and they're leaving and they're not coming back.
We're about to tackle this right now.
Yep, we are going to try and help you fix that, because that's exactly why we do these live streams. So this is, it said games, it said Wayne Games. I'm like, well, that was the wrong form. This is not the gaming form. But I realized that it looks like they're a gaming like developer. So I'll allow it. In fact, I prefer them to be on the non-gaming form because it's a different style of content. But let's check it out.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode on Unity Dots. Today we will learn more about the Unity physics package. We will scan our surroundings to react to nearby entities using the overlap sphere method and discover the closest hit collector. And if you stick to the end of the video, you will also learn about the component lookup concept.
So we got chapters. We have an intro that tells us what we're going to learn. This is a learning tutorial. So I think, speaking clearly like you did and saying exactly what people are going to learn is a good thing. What did you think, though, overall of the intro you saw?
It goes back to what we've been talking about to pretty much throughout almost the latter half of this live stream, and that is presentation and energy. You're being clear and concise, but there's just a lack of energy there that is very like Professor is. And I don't mean that in a kind way, because sometimes when you're if you feel like you're in a lecture hall when you're watching a YouTube video, you don't want somebody to feel like that, unless that's what their intention is. It gets boring real quick, it gets dry, and people are out of there. Because you have to remember, there are so many more options for people to consume the content on YouTube, and that if they don't like your stuff within the first 30 seconds, they can just go to the next video. And the second thing is this whatever you have going on in the background, yeah, you got moving parts and whatnot, but it's all on the same screen. There's nothing changing in this background. I don't even know how long the video goes before it changes, or if it even changes. That's a problem, because there's no cut, there's no editing happening here. It's just you talking with this animated character, and you got this whatever happened in the background, and there's nothing going on. That's not exciting. That's not going to keep somebody's attention. When you all are creating content, you have to think about what will keep a viewer's attention. And having, I can't call it a static image, but because it's not static, but having this same scene, it's the same scene for like an extended period of time. Having the same scene up for like over a minute or more, you're going to get that drop off. And that's why you're getting that drop off, because you're not freshening it up for the viewer.
Yeah, there's a quick question here too that I want to answer. Who here knows how to make chapters on your videos? So to do that, all you need to do is you timestamps exactly like this. So you'll want to put 0, or in this case 01:45, and then after that you could put whatever you want, and that creates on that line, as long as it's on the same line, that creates the chapter and the name. So that's how they did that. So it just needs to be in your description, and they become animated chapters as long as you type them in this format right there. So sorry, just saw that, wanted to answer that real quick. So as a programming channel, you are doing something that's like visually it will look like this. There's visual wise not a lot at your disposal. However, games are a very visual medium and you're making games. So when you were talking about like exactly what you were doing, I was expecting this shot here to change, but your entire intro, which is almost a whole minute, just does this. And you have what I guess we could call a VTuber in the corner, an animated character kind of as a representation of you. They're very tiny in the corner, but what you could have done is maybe taken them sometimes and made them bigger on the screen and then taken them back and put them in the corner when there's something on the screen that you want to share. Just more edits, more things to kind of hold people's attention is really going to change a lot for your retention rate. And one thing, I want to listen to the intro again for just a little bit and I want to see if I'm right about something.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode on Unity Dots. Today we will learn more about...
I would get rid of welcome to this episode of Unity Dots, like hello everyone. Just say today we're going to learn, like jump right into that. We already know it's episode whatever number you've put because we've clicked on the title. Just real quick. And I probably wouldn't even use that in the title, but that's a separate story. You're an education channel, it's probably fine. Let me listen though.
About the Unity physics package. We will scan our surroundings to react to nearby entities.
We'll scan our surroundings to react to nearby entities. I think if there's a way, this is where some footage should come in of what that looks like. We'll scan our surroundings. So that sounds like a visual thing that we're going to see. So get some B-roll in there of it happening. Maybe from later in the video, you can use a little bit of it in the beginning of the video. So again, B-roll, things happening. It validates everything you're saying. It makes people feel like, okay, this click is going to pay off. This person knows what they're talking about. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to learn how to do it. This is great. So those are going to be some of the things I would say that are going to help. I think in terms of a tutorial, like the length is really good. I don't have a lot of criticism of like your thumbnails or anything because I've seen a lot of programming channels go this route and actually do really well. So yeah, title thumbnail wise, I'm not super concerned about that. I'm just, yeah, because your retention, people are clicking on this and they're leaving. The retention is the problem here. Then yeah, it's definitely going to be this really, really long intro with just nothing happening on the screen at all. And when you're actually like programming, let me see if I just mute this. Well, let's not mute it.
Unlike a recast that finds entities in a single direction, the overlaps here will look for all entities within a fixed sphere.
See, I like the diagrams you're using. I was going to say, like, are you doing things to kind of support some of the stuff going on? Because this is all very tiny text. So sometimes you might want to zoom in on it a little bit just to help people read what you're typing. Yes. That's always important in these types of tutorials. But the fact that you bothered to make a diagram of what you're saying, that's super cool. Like, you're putting in a lot of work in these videos. So people never even got to this point, as you said, because 30 to 40 seconds in, they've all left. So we want to make sure that, yeah, your intro is tightened up way more. Mm-hmm. And do keep in mind, if your title and your thumbnail say what they're going to learn, you don't necessarily need to go into too much detail. Like today, we're going to learn detection and entity interaction. If I just clicked on this video, I'm like, yeah, I know. I clicked on the video that said that. Like, so remove any redundancies. You know what I mean? If you feel like the title and thumbnail got you covered, like let it get you covered. Like just try to get this intro shorter. And if you're going to make intros like this, like we said, make stuff happen. You have, by the end of this, I imagine, a finished product. Like this is visually a lot more interesting. And so you could be taking more footage from the end of the video and just using clips of it in the beginning. But yeah. I don't know if this would be difficult to do, but maybe just coloring some of this too. That would probably be like a whole thing. But I've seen a lot of game development channels when I was kind of looking into the stuff for myself, and they took the time to like the stuff they were building, like to actually like give the characters a little more color and stuff. That vibrancy is also going to help, I think. Yes, but that's just some extra work for you, but I think it helps. And Deathwish says YouTube is 8x zoom, right? I think only on mobile can you pinch and zoom. That's like a new thing, and it's only on mobile. But all right, we'll go on now to yeah, it's time, everybody. It's time for random selections. If you've been submitting on the form, we have something that's going to help us pick out your channels from the crowd. And it's called The Claw. The claw is going to pick out your channels. There are 2 forms down below, one for non-gaming channels, one for gaming channels. They're very similar in responses. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the claw. We're going to update the number list here to about 440. And then we are going to pick out the first channel, which is 217. We'll go to the gaming form because it's been a bit. 217. Is that right? 17. And it is a shorts channel, Pokemon Raid Hub. They said, we find YouTube is better for education and TikTok entertainment. What do you think? Okay, interesting. Interesting theory there. So we'll go to your shorts because you said you were a shorts channel. This is, not a ton of content, but kind of cool. Cool to see you get started here. I imagine you probably started maybe just weeks ago. October. Yeah. All right, let's look at like 1 or 2 shorts and see what we can see. My critique of this, I don't know if you agree, Viper, but I think this video could have really used a voiceover.
Much better idea than the whole keyboard on the screen covering half the screen. Not a good look.
I didn't like the keyboard, and did you notice that there were captions?
I did not know.
It took me a minute, but they're up here. And as the video goes, I'll mute it. It was explaining pretty much everything. And then I played it while it was doing its call to actions, which I'll get to in a second. Team Rocket Takeover is here, and during this time, you can unlearn frustration. Pro tip: type frustration. Type at frustration. This will display all Pokemon with move frustration. Now you can find them super fast. Hope you found this useful. I think this is a good tip. I think for people who play this game, this is a really good tip. But the fact that you did the captions the way you did and didn't talk made it impossible to follow. Because the captions are coming in such a way where I don't know where one sentence ends and the other begins. And then after that, you do these weird call to actions where you're like, subscribe and then go to our Facebook group. And none of that in shorts. People don't really have the tolerance for that, I would say. And then for this to be truly helpful, I think the captions should have been more in the middle of the screen. They should have been accompanied by you talking over them. I don't think it should have been music, because what's frustrating is it's hard to like read, and I'm trying to learn this thing. But imagine this: I've scrolled to your short. I didn't choose to watch it. YouTube said, "Do you want to watch this?" And I don't know what's going on. So like, you're going to teach me something that I don't necessarily even want to learn right now, and it's not going to be taught in a way that's going to be memorable because it was just music and Pokemon on a screen. So it didn't do anything for me, because I may have missed, because the captions were shoved so high at the top of the frame, I may have even missed those. So that's going to be one critique for you.
Yeah, I didn't even realize those were actual captions. I just saw some type of ticker on the top of the screen. I didn't realize those were captions. So yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's look at another one. This one looks a lot different. It's a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet OLED Switch unboxing. So way different than the tip you gave here.
Hands on the new Pokemon.
Let me try again.
I finally got my hands on the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Edition OLED Switch, and it is an absolute beauty. So this is the Pokemon Edition Switch in all of its glory. Let's put on the Joy-Cons and see what it looks like complete. Now that looks fresh. I love the designs on the back with the graffiti art, and you've got the color coordination and the school badges on each side too. We've got a charger, something which seems now to be a rarity on most electronic products, a HDMI cable, the stand. Oh boy, the stand. It looks insane. Those colors are so cool.
Much better than the previous short, for sure.
Yes, it is. However, Dan, I kind of felt like this creator did this short in a way that they would do a long form video. And in my opinion, that doesn't work for short. Short are like quick dosings of adrenaline. They need to be quick, fast paced, and in a hurry. And I just felt like the creator was taking the time with this short. And at that point, people are they're gone because they're you should be done already. Like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. What do you think?
It did feel slow. It's an unboxing, but I feel like it was filmed at the pace of a long form video. I think you could have filmed a long form video and then edited into a short too. But there was just so many moments where you stopped talking, and I think those were the moments where the box should have been opening. Like when you look at TikTok, when you look at other things, I think that's like the pacing these days of the videos. Everything is just moving. The talking is kind of consistent throughout the video. It doesn't stop and start again. And, no time is wasted at all. So I think this could have been a lot shorter because you could have saved the longer version for like a long form video. And I like it way more. And I love your audio quality too. I was not expecting this from the last short we saw. I'll say that.
Yeah, a different one, I would agree. Definitely better than the first one we watched.
One thing I will ask you to do next time you do something like this, though, is I think what you should have done is used the camera a bit more. So when you say, look at this thing's actually insane, take your Switch and put it up to the camera lens and like bring me real close in the little icons on the bottom of the Joy-Cons. You know what I mean? Like people are watching this on a phone. It's really small. You have a good framing here for the top-down unboxing, but all you had to do was like hold it up, and get it closer to the lens, or take B-roll after the fact. So you film it like this, and then you do a session with the Switch. You have it docked, just sitting on a table, and then you go in with the B-roll, and you get all your beauty shots with your phone or something, and then you edit it all together. I think there was a level of satisfaction here that was missing because of that. I was sitting here grabbing my video games to show.
Yep, I think you hit the nail on the head on that one.
So yeah, and as for your question about, you feel like YouTube is better for educating than TikTok and vice versa. I've definitely seen, both work on both platforms. I'm spending more time on YouTube, obviously, but I think you could entertain or educate on YouTube. I find educating a bit harder because shorts, when you think shorts and short form videos, you think fun, exciting, times. You think funny, interesting life hacks, all that fun stuff. So to get someone to watch an education video, I feel like it's a bit harder. Like when we make ours, because all of our shorts on this channel are educational, when we make ours, we really take the time to work on that hook and make sure that it's exciting as it can be, even though we're just teaching something, and it's loud, and it only takes a couple seconds to basically explain what it is we're trying to teach. And that's key, I think, with educating. I would say unboxings are more entertainment anyway. So yeah. But obviously this one was an educational one, the first one we watched, and good tip, but not great execution. So yeah, a lot to kind of improve there if you're going to keep doing like the Pokemon Go style ones. All right. Hey, welcome to YouTube. This is a really good, strong start here.
Yeah, right. Keep making content, definitely.
We will go back to the claw now. We will choose somebody from the non-gaming form. $2.99 on the, where'd it go? The non-gaming form. All right. We're just looking for a general review. This is Tom's World with 1,000 subscribers. Why don't we check out your latest video from 4 hours ago with already 330 views? That's a pretty strong start, because usually when you see this, like your analytics probably going to tell you it's even more. So what we're going to see on the front page is going to be a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. In this video, we're in the woods that run right behind the Woodhaven Mall, and you can also get to them from the far northeast Philly side, between two cross streets, which I'll show you right now. So basically, I've been in these woods a few times, and I haven't been here in a little while. I did come here a few months back. A friend of mine, Jim, had passed away, Jim Scott, and as a memoriam to him, or however you say that word, memorial, whatever.
So 30 seconds in, it's a 33-minute video, and I'm getting the sense that they're kind of like a vlog style channel. Mm-hmm. They just kind of go to different locations and tell stories. Perfectly fine. That's pretty cool. What do you think?
Okay, Tom. I don't know how you did it, Tom, but your audio being outside is immaculate. It's like chef's kiss. Like, it almost sounds like you're inside, and that's very difficult to do when you're recording outside. You got the wind, you got outside noise and traffic, environment, people. I heard almost none of that in this audio, and he's outside. He's clearly outside. There's woods and everything. He's outside, but he sounds like he's inside. So your audio, my dude, ooh, love it. What I'm missing though is pacing. I just feel like I like what you're doing. You're starting off telling us what you're doing and what's happening, but I just feel like there's not enough action happening in the video for me, especially in the first 30 seconds. Because again, if you want to like stay on on this path throughout like the later parts of the video, then and tell us a story, okay, fine. But when you're trying to hook us in initially with that initial hook, I need a little bit more action to keep me invested in the video, and that's what I'm missing. But the audio, chef kiss.
That turns out that is coming right out of just the phone microphone. Maybe it's because they're holding it close enough. It sounds nice. Wow. Yeah. Phone microphones can do really well as long as they're close enough to you. They're really good. It does look like that's the case here. So yeah, glad to see Tom is here. I think that video quality is good, audio quality is good. I like that you use the B-roll at the beginning. You're talking about the street corner, and so you actually showed it rather than just talked about it, which is great. I think the only thing here, and this is for you to figure out with your strategy and your regular viewers, the only thing here for me is kind of the why. I'm not the target audience probably, but I'm just wondering, like, who is the content for? And this is more of like a channel audit surface level kind of thing, but like, so it says traversing the woods of, I don't know what that word is, Creek Park behind the Woodhaven Mall. I think you mentioned it's, Philadelphia. So it's going to be for locals, I think, right? But is it, maybe I'm wrong, is it for also visitors, people who are visiting this area? Maybe they want to see some of these sites. That's kind of what's missing for me. Like, who is the target audience for your content? It's not clear in the title. When we clicked into the video, it wasn't clear in the content. And that's the kind of thing, like if you can kind of answer that question in one sentence for yourself, I think that's going to take your channel and bring it right to the next level. Sit down and put on paper your ideal viewer. You know what I mean? That's when you sit down and say like, okay, the people I want to watch my content, I want to have watch my content, they're between the ages of blank and blank. They are traveling to the Philadelphia area. What they're looking for are places to eat and things to do, when they're done eating. So in this case, I'm just using the woods as an example. Like, so traversing the woods, otherwise known as hiking, like they want to go hiking. So like, be thinking about like the common words and terms they're going to be using if they're, typing things into the YouTube search bar, consider all this stuff. But I would, if I got it completely wrong, by the way, and you're like, that's not who I want to watch my videos, that's totally fine. But sit down and figure it out for yourself. Like, build that audience persona. And once you have that, I also encourage you to go out and do the research. Do you feel like if you put yourself in that viewer's shoes, is there content for you? Meaning, is there a precedent for this content already on YouTube? So you're not the only one ever who's made it in the world. You don't want to be completely alone in a space, because that means you probably niche down a little too far. But those would be my tips for you. I don't have many critiques on the content itself. I think it's perfectly fine. I think this is a good start. Maybe it's a bit long. Maybe it's not. Again, it's not necessarily for me. But yeah, the biggest thing I think for this channel is definitely going to be sitting down and building that audience persona.
All right, so you're already off to a roaring start. We saw your views. So the one thing I will say is your thumbnail that I'm looking at right here. I feel like you have too much text on the thumbnail, and that yellow text is too small. Remember, Tom, most of us are watching on a mobile device, so we're talking 5, 6, 7-inch screen. So they're not gonna be able to read that just at a quick glance. So use less text, make the text that you use bigger, and that might be better for you.
Yeah, I think text on your thumbnails, while it's totally fine to do that, it's hard to read. You kind of put green on green because you have like a tree in the background with green text over it. And the text, the font choice, a little bit thinner than I would like to see, especially the size you have it. And so when we're at this size, looking at on a normal screen, zoomed out, I think, suddenly these letters become really hard to read. And that's also something to work on for sure. Again, while you're doing that research to build your audience persona and you're looking for similar channels to yours, you're also going to see thumbnails that they're doing and hopefully get some inspiration as to how you can improve yours. I'm knocking things over on my desk. I apologize. All right. So there you go. I think we gave Tom quite a bit of advice, even went to channel audit mode there. Let's pick out a gaming channel now, courtesy of The Claw. 304 on our gaming form. All right. Thank you for all your submissions, by the way. We have some super chat questions. Let's say after this, we'll try to answer those. Thank you for your super chats and all your support, for all the free content that we make for you every single week here on the channel. It's MH Beast Gaming with 334 subscribers. I just want to double check on your form. You said you were creating long form videos primarily, and you said, I'm confused. What should I upload? Gameplays or montages? So we can, in this stream is more of a advice about the types of videos you're making. So we can kind of advise you on how things are looking in terms of your content. In terms of answering that question though, I want to encourage you and everyone else here not to ask us or strangers on the internet for permission what to make. There are both. There are playthroughs, there are montages, there's all kinds of different types of gaming content. Which one do you want to make the most? That's my question back to you. Which one do you have the most fun making? And if it's both equally and you're just hoping someone helps you flip the coin, get a coin and flip it. But yeah, if it's both and you love making both equally, I'd be leaning towards the one that I felt like I had more ideas for. The one that I felt like I could come up with 100 title ideas for tomorrow if you challenge me to. So it really comes down to your passion here.
हेलो गाइस, कैसे हैं आप सभी लोग? वेलकम बैक टू अनदर गेम प्ले वीडियो। और आज हम लोग खेलने वाले हैं 8 बॉल पूल। जैसे कि मैंने क्या कहते हैं एक कहते हैं वो होता है वोट वाला डाला था, तो आप लोगों ने कहा था कि
I don't think they are a creator who speaks English, which is makes it a bit harder, but I will say that your audio quality needs some improvement. We are way too quiet. I have my volume cranked here on YouTube, as you can see, and I cannot hear the commentator at all. Did you struggle with that as well?
Oh, I heard him. He just wasn't speaking English.
I definitely can sense that we're gonna have that struggle again too. It makes it difficult because we don't know, we can't critique exactly like what's being said in the video. I don't know if you're doing a really long intro, like, oh, welcome back to my channel, I'm so and so, and today's video, like all the stuff we tell people not to, or if you're getting right into it, we're missing that. But it's so quiet. Like the audio leveling needs to be much better. And I think that also comes down to your energy in the video, just having you speak up a little bit and get excited. You're on YouTube, you're making gaming videos. That's going to be also really big for you. But if you're not speaking English and you're titling your videos in English and you're using thumbnails with text on it that's in English, I have to ask the question again, who is your content for? Because right now you are targeting an English speaking audience, and you are providing a totally different experience when people click in, which is going to hurt your retention, because when people click in and they can't understand what's going on, they're going to click off. They're going to feel like they're in the wrong place. So I would definitely be making content and using titles and thumbnails that are true to your native language. And if you are speaking English, by the way, and we can't hear it, I completely apologize. I literally am, for me right now, I'm like 75% sure you're not speaking English, but it's so hard to hear because I already have the volume cranked and I cannot hear it. But I think those would be my tips there.
No, I agree with you. I don't really have anything else to add to that.
Just kind of moving ahead a little bit in the video, I'm seeing. That was loud. By the way, just a quick note on these. Can we all agree that we're over this as viewers on YouTube? Like people who put the animated subscribe button with no context, it just goes click, ding, ding. I hear that bell a lot. Like a lot of people use that exact sound effect for the subscribe notification bell call to action. I prefer it when someone asks. I don't like an animation that just pops up for no reason. But I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in that.
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. So obviously, you just said you prefer when somebody asks, and we've seen the data says that you get more subscribers when you verbally ask for them. But what if you? Because I've been struggling with this myself, going back and forth whether I should ask or not ask. So right now, I'm just using a graphic. So usually I just have the graphic in there after I provided some type of value or whatever. Do you prefer somebody ask even if it interrupts the flow of the video, or what do you think about that? Because my thing is, I would ask, but I don't want to interrupt the flow of the video.
Yeah, I think that that's where having a strategy to that call to action comes into play. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but like what I like to do is I like to give people a reason to subscribe, and I build it into my script if I'm writing a script for that video. Or if something interesting happens, I find a cheeky way to say, now that was, that was subscribe worthy, wasn't it? And I know I'm being silly, and I know the audience is going to eye roll at that, but some of them might click subscribe. But just having it in there, and I get you don't want to interrupt the flow of the video, but I think it still takes people out of it when you have a really loud call to action like that one was. Like ding ding, like, oh, okay, and it's much louder than the commentator in the video. So yeah, I don't know. I think just as a general rule, let's find more interesting ways. If you're going to ask for subscribers, it's something you just have to do. Find an interesting way to do it. I challenge all of you to go out and find the most interesting way to ask for subscribers, because I'm guaranteeing you, if you make the people who are watching who aren't subscribed laugh or remember you in some way, they are way more likely to hit that button.
Indeed.
So before we get into the next channel, let's talk about some of these questions. We do have a number of super chat questions here. One from EV Pulse, who gave $20, by the way. Thank you so much. Your advice in directing people on what to watch at the end of the video instead of giving them an option nearly instantly improved our views / revenue. Thank you so much for an actionable tip.
When you all listen, it's so great when y'all listen. Obviously, something we will say that you might not agree with, but the end screen thing is just universally understood.
Yeah.
If you give them an option, and I know some of us, or I shouldn't, some people will like, they'll use the end screen, they'll put like multiple things. They'll put a subscribe button or a video or 2 videos. One video. That's all you need on the end screen. One video. Verbally direct them to that video when you're done. Oh,
and why?
And why? Yes.
Why should they watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And watch the magic happen.
Yeah. So what we don't have EV Pulse's channel pulled up or anything, but what I imagine this looks like for EV Pulse is that you've started doing this. You've started saying, watch this video next because reason here. And then you saw your end screen click-through rate go up. Now, the source of your views went from browse or search, whatever it was, and you saw end screen just start to pop up out of nowhere. And then you probably noticed that you were getting views across more of your videos, because that's what we noticed. Not only did we get end screen clicks that went up, but our overall view count started to look a lot more healthy too, because it works. People create those session watch times in your channel and they come back for more, not just in the same day, but tomorrow and the next week and so on. So you create these opportunities for your channel to get even more views just from that one call to action. Is it possible my thumbnails are too polished?
I want to talk about this. I don't know if I would say too polished, but what I will say is that sometimes I used to have it make it take videos and make it take videos. I used to use some assets from a brand. If I'm talking about like a product from a company like Nomad or Apple or Samsung, sometimes I would either use an image from their website or I would use their graphics or whatever as part of my thumbnail. And I think when you do that, you do slightly run the risk of being too commercial, too polished, and it just makes the thumbnail look a little bit less authentic when you're using all of the stuff from a brand. So I would say be careful with that type of stuff. But other than that, just do the best you can with the thumbnail. I think the most important thing is that the thumbnail complements the title of the video and it gives us an idea of what to expect from the video. That is the biggest thing I can tell you all about thumbnails. When I look at your thumbnail, I should within 2 seconds understand what I'm going to get from your video. Everything else does not matter. That is what matters most. My, as a viewer, understanding of what you're trying to present to me in your video. That's it.
Yeah, as you mentioned, having authenticity like in your thumbnails might come down to depolishing them a little bit.
Yeah.
There's plenty of examples of needing polished thumbnails on YouTube, and there's also plenty of examples of having ones that are not as polished, and both can do well. It just depends on what kind of content you're making and what that audience is more likely to click on. And the way to know that is to, again, put yourself in their shoes, do some searches. What are the standards of thumbnails for the videos that you're making? And we even have a tool. I don't have it pulled up right now, but we have a tool that'll help you do this as well before you even post your video, you can look and see what your thumbnail looks like alongside others. If it looks too polished or it looks not polished enough, you get to make that determination. Maybe I'll pull it up here in a second. But yeah, I think it is possible that the thumbnail could be too polished. I'm not looking at your thumbnails right now, so I can't say, but I think that's something that can happen. Been doing top 10 narration scary TikToks designed to break down into shorts. So you've been doing TikToks, and I guess you're designing them for YouTube Shorts as well? Is that what you're saying? I'm getting many views on the shorts, but my long videos aren't doing as well. What can I do to bridge these two better? The best thing you can do is to make sure they're similar.
Yeah.
That has to happen, because if people are going to watch your shorts and there's any chance they're going to watch the long form videos, that needs to appear that it's similar. And not just the content itself, but think about the title and the thumbnail. Think about what that viewer is most likely to click on, right? Going back to audience personas again. And maybe the videos themselves are similar, but the packaging, the long form videos, title and thumbnail just doesn't look anything like the content that they saw within YouTube Shorts, you know? Also, while YouTube has said many times now that they have rebuilt this bridge, it's still not like one for one in my experience. If I upload a short and then I upload a long form video and they're both very similar to one another, there's no guarantee that the shorts viewers have all transitioned over, but it happens more now. Before, it just didn't happen because that bridge was intentionally severed by YouTube. They've rebuilt it, but it's not one for one. So I think you will build up, and here's the reason. You're going to build up an audience that watches shorts because certain people just like watching short form content. And they'll never like your long form videos because they just don't like long form videos, and vice versa. There are people who only watch YouTube for long form videos, and if they want to see shorts, they go to TikTok. They don't go to YouTube Shorts, you know, or they just haven't built the habit yet. Like, I never watched YouTube Shorts until I did, and it was a habit I got into, and now I find myself clicking the shorts button on YouTube way more than I used to. So, you know, there's also that, and shorts is still very new, so there could just be some time that you're going to have to keep uploading. So even though all of this should be on the same channel, I want you to treat your one channel like two channels. If you're doing shorts and you're doing long forms, the best thing to do, I think, for your mental health, this helped me, was just to pretend they were two different channels and they just happen to be about the same thing. And if people come over from one to the other, great.
Well said.
Last one here before we move on to our next channel. Thank you again for all these super chats. They stream Fortnite customs at 3K subs. I don't know what customs means, but you stream Fortnite customs at 3K subs. You plan on buying a camera to upload IRL content. Would this be a bad idea? If the IRL content has nothing to do with the Fortnite stuff and you're putting it on the same channel, then yes, that would be a bad idea. Because while each video will stand on its own, if you want to build up an audience of people who return to your channel, you still want to make sure that you are respecting them. And if you're going to stream Fortnite and you're getting a lot of viewers and things are going well, and then suddenly one day you're doing a vlog at Walmart, it's not going to be the same thing unless you're buying Fortnite merch. I mean, there might be a way to bridge this gap for yourself. But if you're just going to bounce around Target and Walmart looking for blenders and stuff, that's not going to be anything that audience wants to watch. So that might be a second channel.
Yes, I don't really have anything to add up. You can't put two different types of content on the same channel and expect to grow. No, that's not going to work.
So, thank you again for all these questions. I hope I didn't miss any.
Yeah, thank you guys for the super chat, though. They are definitely not required, but we definitely appreciate them. So thank you.
Yeah, I did pick a couple more from Codations. We'll try to get to those before the end here, and hopefully we didn't miss any more. But thank you so much. Okay, so we have 450 on the gaming form now, so we're about to update the claw here. I'm just going to do 460 because it may still continue to go up, and we'll pick out number 328. And I have to open a new tab. 328. All right, the Roblox Kings. Is there any good way to get 4,000 watch hours at 400 right now? All right, well, there is. It's to make videos that people want to watch. You're over 1,000 subscribers, so yes, monetization is going to be top of mind for you. We're going to look at your videos and see if we can help people when they do click in there, stay on them. Because if you want to get 4,000 hours, the best thing you can do is to get 100% watch time, which is not something that's easy to do. but we want to get you as close as you can be. One thing I will say, we're not in channel audit mode right now, but I guess I'm going to switch to it real quick. You're making very short videos, and that's fine. Your videos should not be long for the sake of being long, but can you think of an idea that would make for a 5-minute video? I mean, your watch hours are going to go up exponentially if you can get people to watch a 5-minute video instead of a 1-minute video. It's just saying, don't force a 1-minute video to be 5 minutes by stretching out with fluff. Script out and plan a video that happens to end up being 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long. Top 5 tips and tricks. You die, but you... I can't read it. If you TNT yourself off the map, you get a little... I couldn't read that one.
Okay, let's stop, Dan. Let's stop it right now.
I tried, though.
Okay. This is something that I'm seeing more and more, and I'm going to have y'all stop it right now. We talk about keeping your video fast-paced and having a lot of cuts and edits, but there is a such thing as being too damn fast, okay? That was too fast. Dan couldn't even read the text on the screen because it was so fast. You're cutting you have to like it cutting up vegetables and onions and stuff. No, people, no. I as a viewer, I need time to digest what you're trying to present to me, but if you're constantly cutting every second, I can't get comfortable watching the content. And if I can't get comfortable watching your content, I'm not going to continue to watch your content. I'm moving on to the next video. So enough with the fast cutting, man. Y'all need to calm down. Calm down. Go ahead, Dan.
I couldn't read it. The music scared me. The music made me feel scared, and I didn't like that. And I wanted to click off, but it's also my job to watch. So I watched it a little bit. This would have been a great video with some commentary. I'm not saying it needed commentary because you're getting views on it. You've been doing this stuff now for a bit and you've managed to get over 1,000 subscribers. Maybe they're all like this and it's great. But it's so hard to read the text. You know, I think you should be breaking that up a little bit more. It should be, spread out. This could take your 1-minute video, make it a 2-minute video, which would be great. But I couldn't get the tips. And it wasn't clear. Sometimes the tips went away and I wasn't really sure what you were trying to show me. Like right here. You fell and died, but for some reason you zoomed in on this health bar, but it looks like something's happening right here, but I don't know what it is because you've cut it off the frame. And then we see a character, so killed by this person. And I guess that's who was at the top of the frame there. So it's just kind of an awkward pause, and then the text comes back. But I have to pause the video to read it. There's just no way to read that. So I like that you're showing... you're still showing exactly what the tip is pertaining to, like all that B-roll is on point. That's great, but it's going by way too fast. I also think that the resolution you filmed this in, while YouTube desktop mode is framing it in a nice 4:3 window for me, YouTube mobile is going to put big black bars on it. So I think you should be trying to find a way to make it 16:9. You might be recording on mobile, because I'm noticing some shadowy buttons here. Like if we wait till the text goes away. Yeah. So I think you're playing on mobile because this looks like touchscreen controls to me. It might not be possible to shoot 16:9, but if there's any other creators doing that, figure out how they're doing it because it's going to be an interesting viewing experience on a phone. But maybe that's a nitpick. But yeah, all of those things. If you can kind of keep addressing those things we spotted in your video, that can definitely help get you to that 4,000 hours of watch time. I think you are...
I am muted. Also, while we're here, Dan, the thumbnail, man. This 5 tips and tricks thumbnail, I'm only going to talk about this one because we don't have a lot of time, but this is not going to work. That text and the background, it's too similar. It just blends right in with each other. So change the color of the text if you're going to do that, or change the background, but that doesn't work. Yeah.
And 5 tips and tricks is already in the title. So what could you have put in that thumbnail that's a little more interesting? Maybe you could have put one of the tips. Like in one of the tips you used TNT and it did something. So maybe you could have had the thumbnail a character being blown back by TNT and the text just says use this with an arrow pointing at TNT. I think that's a much more interesting thumbnail and it points to one of the 5 tips you're going to give. So there's some extra thumbnail advice in there for you. All right, so we are now going to look at the next non-gaming channel on our list of 461. See, I can't even keep up here.
Also, shout out to the 486 of you all watching the live stream today. We appreciate you all being here. I know you could be anywhere else, but you're choosing to spend time with us. So thank you for that.
Yes. This person has 19,000 subscribers. Look at that. How else might I increase views and retention? All right, so it's Metal Trenches. This looks familiar to me. I feel like we may have audited this
I
channel
think
in
we
the
have
past.
a long time ago, but I think we have.
Excuse me. So most divisive modern metal albums. All right. Oh, I muted it.
Albums.
Sorry.
We've talked about overrated albums and overhated albums. But sometimes a metal release is so divisive that it erupts the fan base into civil war.
So, I don't know if I can. I don't want to take that risk.
Of such albums from 2015 and on, and we're starting with a very recent addition in Slipknot, The End So Far.
Stop it, Dan. We're gonna get copyright.
Yeah, I'm worried about their copyright chances here. Like they're using short clips of the music, but
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I worry that the copyright system's still going to hit you up for some of
Yep.
that sweet ad revenue.
Oh yes, they are.
Yeah.
This is another thing, and I talked to a YouTube copyright person directly, and I can tell you, it doesn't matter how long you use the copyrighted content, it's ID tagged, and when it gets claimed or when it gets tagged by the algorithm, they're coming after you. They're going to put a claim on your video, and your money gone. Obviously, this will change when they roll out Creator Music. I don't know if that's available yet. I think that's still in beta, and it might be available either later this year or next year. But obviously, this becomes a lot easier when Creator Music is a thing. But I don't think it's a thing right now. So yeah, they're going to come after you for the copyright use for sure.
Yeah, when you have access to Creator Music, be sure to go through all of their steps there for setting that up. It's a whole thing. And if you're going to do a music channel like this one, where you're reviewing albums and things like that, it is essential. And hopefully you can, help your channel not get copyright claims left and right. But that's not going to be a problem for views. It's just going to be annoying for your AdSense. So the question they had is how you can get more views. In terms of editing, I'm going to just go ahead and say video review wise, this is great. I think that their audio quality is great. Their video quality is great. I like their use of gags, and I like the B-roll. I even though I don't agree with it from a copyright standpoint, I like the use of the music videos. I think this is a very engaging video. I think you've done a great job. It's also not like a super long review, great or terrible. Do I need 20 minutes to determine that? No, probably not. So this is great. Most divisive modern metal albums. I think the thumbnail here isn't the strongest.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you thought. I was thinking the same thing. And it's not that it's bad. I just feel like you're missing an opportunity, especially with the title. The title is Most Divisive Modern Metal Album. So I felt like if you could put an album cover in the thumbnail that we could maybe have a look at and as divisive, and it should be like a popular album. Like let's say it's an album that somebody likes, or more people agree that's a great metal album. Put that cover art in the thumbnail,
and then say terrible.
Right, and just put terrible, and wow, people are going to be like, "What do you mean it's terrible? It's not terrible. You're going to get the warrior coming to your video. That's what you want." Yeah.
Terrible question mark with like an arrow pointing at the album.
Yeah.
I don't think in this case you need to be in that thumbnail. Sometimes you will need to be in the thumbnails. I don't think this would have been one for it. I think you could have had a much higher click-through rate if you had tried to do, something like what we just suggested.
Yeah.
But they've been doing this for a bit. Maybe they've tested that in the past. We don't know the full extent of, what they've been up to. But it does look like more often than not, they are putting themselves in the thumbnails. But they're getting some good view counts. Sometimes way more. Sometimes over 10,000, which is awesome to see. But yeah, so their simple question was just like, how do I get more views and 20,000 subscribers? The view counts you're getting. Yeah, fair question. So I think stuff like this, cringiest metal bands, these tier lists that people do are very popular. And I think this was like a knockout hit for you. You've been doing it with a couple of other things as well, but cringiest metal bands was like, yes. Like, is there any other bold statements that you could make and could use the tier list? Or I still think this type of video would work for getting this many views too. It's just kind of you sitting there going like shrugging doesn't really get that point across. So I think thumbnails. I think that's what's going to really, set you apart if you continue to improve those.
And I'll just put my 2 cents in before we go to the next video. Thumbnails are about emotion, especially since you're in them. But with your mask on, you're covering a lot of your face, so we can't get that emotional content from your thumbnail. So you're gonna have to find different ways to intrigue people to click if you're not willing to show that emotion on your face because you're covering it with a mask. So just something to think about. Obviously, you're doing great. Your views are great. So this might be something that you're like, I'm not listening to Viper, but again, it's just a suggestion. So do with that information what you will.
Cool. So before any more channels, we do have a couple more super chats here. So how do you time it though? Telling to click right here.
Oh, the end screen stuff. Okay.
And the video popping up at the same time. I struggle lining it up. Specific timing.
So at I think it's the last 20 seconds of your video is what you get for the end screen. So at that point, it's just a matter of you going into the back end of YouTube and finding out, going to the end of your video, the last 20 seconds, and then just that's when you do it. And also, you have to be thinking about that when you're filming, right? If you know that the last 20 seconds of the video are going to be dedicated to the end screen, then you need to be spending that time with that call to action, like point to the video, like that verbally let them know that, all right, I want you to watch this video and point to it literally, and then that's how you line it up. But it's the last 20 seconds of your video that it comes into play.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think too hard about it when I'm in that last 20-second window. I'm just like, and if you want to know how to do blah, 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 you're going to want to click here. And then the video pops up. And sometimes I pop it up a little bit earlier if I'm not going to say much more. So people have time to actually get their mouse and like click on it. So you want to make sure it's up long enough for them to click on, but I wouldn't overthink it. And then follow up. I'm a graphic designer. I seem to make them look good and less clickable. One thing I've seen with thumbnails and graphic designers in general, is that a graphic designer is really good at graphic design, but that doesn't necessarily translate to thumbnails, because in my humble opinion, thumbnails are not about being a good graphic designer. Thumbnails are about sending a message to a potential viewer. They're about communicating something. Like if we go to the YouTube home feed right now, best vlog camera. When you look at this thumbnail right here, it's very simple. There's not a lot to this thumbnail. In terms of graphic design, there's not much going on. There's some text. They've cut out the camera so they could put it over some of the text a little bit. And there's a blurred background and a hand holding a camera. Like all of this probably, what probably took a long time was the photography of this thumbnail, not necessarily the graphic design. And that it just sends that really clear, nice message. The Sony ZV-1F, the better vlogging camera. I don't consider myself a graphic designer. This is one of the thumbnails I made for this live stream. It doesn't need to look that great. It doesn't have to be a graphic design masterpiece, and it's not. It's terrible. But it's big and punchy and gets people's attention. Video reviews, and I'm teasing the fact that the view count is going to go up if you watch this live stream. That's all I'm trying to do, is just get a point across. So I've seen graphic designers put a lot of time and effort into their thumbnails. And the thing is, thumbnails are small, so the detail doesn't show up. And then you miss out on all those views because people just put way, way, way too much detail. If they are a graphic designer and they want to try and use all the tools in their tool belt to try and make a beautiful thumbnail. Stuff like, I'm trying to find an example here. Let's see. We watched a lot of channels that actually make really good thumbnails. So I'm trying to find an example of what I would consider to be one that could use some improvement. But I'm looking at the views on some of these, and I can't find any because there's too many huge creators in here. Okay, TechCrunch. 701 views from 12 days ago. It's about NFTs, non-fungible empire. The thumbnail they chose was like a still from the video, and look at all the details in their background. Like they have all these little dots back here, and we got the names of the people, and we got these squares back here. And then we have sessions, TechCrunch, crypto. Like all this stuff is so small, it's hard to read. And you know what? When you look at all these thumbnails on the page, which one is getting your attention the most? It's this one. It's the one with the really simple background, the easy to read text, and the person who's blown up, like oversized for the frame that they're in. Like this is the stuff that gets your attention. This doesn't look like anything. Sorry, TechCrunch. I apologize. You didn't ask for this, but you could have done better in this one, I think.
So
no one tell them I said that.
Before we go, I got somebody in the chat talking about how I'm telling you guys not to cover your face in your thumbnail while I'm wearing sunglasses. And I just like, bro, have you looked at my thumbnail? Because clearly you haven't looked at my thumbnail. Because if you looked at my thumbnail, I don't have my glasses on in my thumbnail. So I practice what I preach. So that tells me you're not paying attention. But why would you pay attention to what I'm doing? But yeah, again, if it's a thing where you're covering your face and you don't want to uncover your face, then by all means do what you gotta do. But if you want to make that emotional connection with somebody in your thumbnail, then they have to be able to see the emotion that you're trying to relay, which is why most of my thumbnails I don't wear my glasses. So it's just what do you want to do? Do you want to get the click or do you not want to get the click? So take it away, Dan.
That's it. No, I don't have anything. I thought people would be done by now with us. It's been 2 hours. Aren't you tired of us by now?
They're still here, Dan.
We looked at your videos.
Of them are still here.
We gave you a master class for free in all things YouTube. We didn't just talk about videos. We ended up talking about thumbnails and all kinds of stuff today. So we'll be back on Friday, I believe, with a new video. We got new videos on Monday, and then we got 2 more live streams, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we just keep doing that over and over again. So stay tuned. We got shorts too. Now we're doing shorts. We're doing a lot. We're doing quite a bit. Thank you for all your super chats. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Yeah. And vidIQ Boost deal, Cyber Week going on. This is the last week for it. So the link is down below if you're looking to get our tools, but at a nice chunky discount. Check it out. That's it. Go away. You can leave. You're dismissed. Class over.